with your lunch, but I think we should try and stay on schedule as much as possible. Are we ready, Mr. Miller? I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please proceed, Secretary Tim?
Regent Bartel.
Present.
Regent Falbo.
Here.
Regent Salas.
Here.
Regent Walsh.
Here.
Regent Bradley. Regent Burmaster.
Here.
Regent Conley Kiesler.
Here.
Regent Craig.
Here.
Regent Keane.
Here.
Regent Davis.
Here.
Regent Pruitt.
Here.
Regent Rosenzweig.
Here.
Regent Shields. Regent Smith.
Here.
Regent Sexer. Regent Thomas.
Here.
Quorum present.
Thank you very much. The only order of the meeting is a presentation by the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point campus and the presentation of their master plan. I just wanted to make a couple of notes as the prerogative of the chairman. I wanted to note a very special person here with us today. And this is Rob Kramer, who was the Secretary of the State Building Commission. As some of you might know, capital projects, after we review them in our committee and advance them for your consideration, then go before the State Building Commission, and Rob Kramer, as Secretary of that body, was most helpful and supportive of our project over the years. And he presently is the new Assistant Chancellor for Business Affairs for Platteville. Chancellor Marquis, is he here? Yes. Welcome aboard, and thank you very much. And I also just wanted to introduce the presentation by the Stevens Point campus by making some personal remarks. In my first life as a former migrant worker, we used to come up into that area, and in one of the migrant issues of my youth, during a very long strike, I enrolled at the University of Stevens Point for one summer and one fall. I won't tell you what year that was, but Chancellor Dreyfus was at the helm at that time. And early in my regency, I visited the campus at the invitation of the Latino community and found that one of the maintenance persons actually had been involved in the strike and had resettled in the area, and eventually was working for the Stevens Point campus. I also had the privilege of being in the search and screening committee when we filled that vacancy, and it's just been such a pleasure knowing this outstanding leader of that area. And I give to you, where are you, Chancellor? Here. Chancellor Bunnell, who will be directing the presentation, and I think you will be duly impressed. I don't know who is going to be your buddy for this year, but I encourage those individual regions that are going to be visiting to pay particular attention to this master plan. I think you will be very impressed.
Thank you so much, Regent Salas. Chairman Bradley, members of the board, and President Riley, I'm just delighted to have the opportunity to present to you the master plan for UW-Stevens Point. 1968. Some of you probably weren't even alive in 1968, and some of you probably have a hard time remembering 1968. That was the last time the University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point developed a master plan. Lyndon Johnson was in the White House. Do you know where you were? UWSP's mission is broader than simply serving Stevens Point, and it's time for us, after nearly 40 years, to chart a new course for our physical campus. We are Central Wisconsin's only public master's and doctoral with the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and baccalaureate institution within a radius of some 90 miles. UWSP needs a solid, functional, physical anchor for its faculty and the programs at Stevens Point in order to deliver education and to serve the economic development needs of our entire region. Our plan enables us to meet several critical objectives. One, construction of new facilities that will enable teaching and learning to flourish in the 21st century. Two, UWSP needs to become a 24/7 campus. Too many of our students leave the campus on the weekend, missing out on those wonderful out-of-class learning opportunities and those moments which they share with peers and learn from one another. Three, UWSP needs to assure the safety of our students and our faculty and staff. Four, we need to enhance our campus for our community and for visitors to Stevens Point. And we need to be an inspiring focal point for higher education in central Wisconsin. The UWSP Master Plan dovetails very nicely with our Vision 2015. Vision 2015 was embraced by the university community as our guide for fulfilling our mission, and it expresses our values. Dr. Christine Thomas, Dean of our renowned College of Natural Resources and also the chair of the board of the Wisconsin DNR, she and other deans focused on Vision 2015 during their, as well as the master plan, during their beginning of the year convocations in each of their colleges.
We're extremely enthusiastic about the campus master plan. We're excited for the opportunity to move forward. Taking the college as an example, we're a nationally recognized program that started 60 years ago, and in the early 70s we were really a program of a few faculty who were teaching academic courses and training natural resource managers. Over the 30 years since our building was built, we have evolved into a program with 100 faculty and staff, $5.5 million of research money. We are busting at the seams. We're 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound sack. We're a race car engine and a 1972 station wagon body, and what we really need to have happen is updated space, sustainable space, and space that's designed for the 21st century. We're really excited about this master plan, and we hope we get a chance to move ahead.
Work on our master plan began in 2005 under the leadership of Carl Rasmussen. We discussed endless scenarios with students, faculty, staff, neighbors, our community, and we prepared a master plan that we believe captures the spirit of UWSP, of who we have been and who we intend to become. Let me take a look at the highlights through of the various phases of our plan. Although I want to assure you that depending on opportunities that might present themselves, as our community might present its needs. In other words, if a donor comes along who really, really wants to give that new athletic stadium, we might consider moving that ahead in the list of projects. Our Phase 1 covers the next 6 years. It addresses the critical needs that Dean Thomas touched upon for 21st century teaching, learning, and applied research phase. UWSP as a campus currently carries out more than $7 million annually in externally funded research, making us among the top, among the leaders of the comprehensive UW campuses. Phase 1 of the master plan also includes construction of a residence hall. 1968 wasn't just the year of our last master plan, it was the year in which our last residence hall was built. We also need to develop a new student services building. Our current student services, and by that I mean our admissions, transcripts, records, all the kinds of things that are needed to serve students, is now housed in the first library ever built at UW-Stevens Point in 1952. And if you remember 1952 architecture, especially in a library, there were very low ceilings and it was all very dark in there. Why it was dark, I'm not quite sure in a library, but that was the mode of the day. So we are really struggling to maintain a modern student services program. Number 4, and very important to our campus safety, we must address our busiest campus thoroughfare, 4th Avenue, and create a more visible public entrance to improve wayfinding for visitors. 3,000 students who live in our residence hall cross 4th Street from breakfast to go to class, back across 4th Street to go to lunch, back across 4th Street to go to class. Probably 12,000 crossings a day, and this is the main east-west thoroughfare of our city. This is a tragedy waiting to happen. Other projects in Phase 1 include the development of what is our crown jewel, the Smeekley Reserve, a 250-acre living learning laboratory which is immediately adjacent to the campus. Not only is it used by our CNR students and our biology students, but our art students love to go out and sketch the bird life, the deer, and learn to also sketch the flora and the fauna. And our athletic teams love running through Smeekley Reserve, as do many of our students. One of the reasons that we need to expand the boundaries of UWSP beyond what they were in 1968 is that the 68 plan called for us to build on Smeekley Reserve. To destroy what is now a very beautiful and well-preserved piece of land intact would be really, really a tragedy. One of our new projects, as I mentioned, is a residence hall. We have absolutely wonderful students at UW-Stevens Point, and they take great pride in their university. We believe that their learning in and out of the class will be greatly enhanced by improved facilities, grounds, and examples everywhere they look of a commitment to sustainability. Brittany Rossman is a communication major from Green Bay. She typifies the way in which our students feel about UWSP. And last year, through her involvement with the Public Relations Student Society of America, Britt and her colleagues developed a campaign to beautify the campus named Don't Be a Dirty Dog, taking off on our pointer mascot. That Texas accent comes in useful. The Don't Be a Dirty Dog campaign was a rousing success, and Britt and her PRSSA colleagues received a national honor for their initiative.
As a third-year student here at UWSP, I have seen vast improvements in our campus over time. People to show that our campus takes pride in their environment and really care about where they're living. I think that there's always room for improvement. For example, residence hall. I came for academic reasons, and other programs are awesome. I'm a communication major, and I am one-on-one with my professors. The classes are small enough that you can make friends, but I think that one factor that played a part in me kind of enable UWSP would be the residence halls. I think there could be improvement on becoming more modern in that area. For example, suite style dorms would be awesome. I think a lot of students are at an advantage when they do have suite style dorms. There's more privacy, and you come closer with those suite mates of yours as well. I think that a building becoming more modern is very important to attract students to our campus.
We're all aware of the studies that show that the vast majority of incoming university students rank the appearance and the amenities of a campus very high on their list of factors on which they base their decision. UWSP is ranked 7th in academic quality by U.S. News & World Report among the comprehensive public universities in the Midwest. We need to bring our facilities to the same level of quality as our academic programs, as our faculty deliver to the kinds of eager students like Brittany Rothman. I'll move now to Phase 2 of our campus master plan. In Phase 2, we plan to make an addition to the new residence hall that we built in Phase 1. We will build a new child care center. It's currently in the basement of one of our oldest dormitories. We intend to remove the buildings that were replaced in Phase 1 to provide more green and more gathering spaces for our students. We'll be making additional enhancements to our campus in the interest of sustainability, and we will also address what has become a very, very critical issue in the life of our campus and our community. We would construct a multi-purpose sports complex and recreation facility. We currently share an off-campus football field with local high school teams. This football field was the training ground for pilots in World War I. We need Gerke Field. Nobody remembers World War I. We currently need to bring our athletic programs onto campus to enhance the campus experience for our students and to bring more members of Central Wisconsin into our campus to enjoy more of what UWSP has to offer. We pledge to continue to work closely with our community in the life of our campus. We're very, very fortunate that one of our young alumni, he was in fact president of the student body at UWSP just 6 years ago, is now the mayor of Stevens Point, Andrew Halverson.
Certainly the community of Stevens Point is excited not only about the depth of the university's master plan, but we're proud to be able to continue our relationship and partnerships as we have since 1894, quite honestly. The city is very excited about being able to have a role in these reviewing the plan, number one, working with the university as closely as we can, more importantly, understanding that the university is one of our strongest community assets and one of our strongest community credits. So we have things we need to work with, and we'll work through collaboratively as we can with any other initiative we've ever worked on with the university. But I think what was most surprising was how in-depth and how precise the plan was, and really how proud we are to call UWSP a partner with our community, really one of the most important parts of our community.
I'm proud to say that our students volunteered 7,500 hours in our community last year. The university's annual economic impact was measured at $378 million. We're excited about this year to demonstrate our campus commitment to sustainability. Our students have a long platform of initiatives that they want to advance, and I believe that we will create many opportunities on the campus to remind our neighbors of the many contributions our students make to the Stevens Point community. The final phase of our master plan brings yet another academic building, the replacement of our dining facility. It was originally built in 1967, and structured parking. Our new master plan will serve us well. We hope it meets with your approval. Our phase one needs are urgent. Our students and faculty are overdue for up-to-date academic space, especially in the sciences. You may know how strong UWSP is in biology and chemistry. These are the disciplines that undergird the quality of our program in natural resources. We simply must address the housing situation in order to respond to requests from students and parents. And let me remind you that by building suite-style residence halls, we are able to enhance our summer conference business. Every penny we make from a summer conference stayer is money that we don't have to charge the students who come back to school in the fall. Stevens Point is so centrally located, and we've been home to many conferences over the years. I think you know UW-Stevens Point is home to the Special Olympics. But gradually, as other campuses, other universities around Wisconsin, and in fact out of state, have gotten better housing facilities, we have lost those conferences and lost those revenues. We must also address the safety issue on our main campus thoroughfare, 4th Avenue. We've gotten some ideas from some of the other campuses. Marquette, some of you may be familiar with the way Marquette has dealt with traffic, the traffic that comes through its campus. We anticipate creating a boulevard with plantings in the median, slowing traffic down, and funneling students onto a central crosswalk. You'll see that in the executive summaries that you have, and they're, I believe, at your table, that throughout this master plan we propose other projects to improve other campus streets, to update signage, and to focus resources on beautifying and creating a sustainable environment for our students. Our master plan reflects as well the growing importance of UWSP to Central Wisconsin. As I said earlier, we are its only baccalaureate, master's, and doctoral granting institution. We need a strong base as we continue to reach out to meet the needs of our region, other communities. Pat Pillard is a senior executive with Burby, an IT solutions firm in Wausau, and he's also chair of the Chancellor's Advisory Council.
university clearly has a mission that helps us with the master plan. We've all been involved in helping to develop the master plan. As a business leader, we have the stable influence that the university provides with the training gateway for the workforce we have here in the central region in Wisconsin. As a business community, we're very reliant on the university to provide a well-trained, well-educated workforce that complements the economic stability and economic growth that's kind of common to this region. So I think the partnerships we're forming with the university and the dovetail we see with that master plan really fits very well with our economic development plans in the region.
Our master plan requires UWSP to grow beyond its present boundaries. We'll be working very closely with the city, with the county, in meeting these objectives. I'd like to invite Vice Chancellor Greg Deemer to join us now to touch on the proposed boundary changes and to help me answer any of the questions that you might have about our master plan.
Thank you, Chancellor Bunnell. Boundary changes are largely on the southwest and west side of the campus, with a small parcel also along 4th Avenue and a 3.5 acre section added to Schmeeckley Reserve. There are the 4 changes on the main campus, and if we go to the next slide, you'll see the 5th change, which is out in the Schmeeckley Reserve, which was a grant that was provided to us as a result of some developers developing some residential property east of that location. They provided 3.5 acres to the campus. It was not a buildable area, and it's been a nice addition, will be a nice addition to the campus. I also want to call your attention to the entrances to the UWSP campus. UWSP is located close to the heart of Stevens Point, and we have several access points where traffic enters the campus. The principal one that we see in the future will be where this red line or street comes in. It's called Stanley Street, and at that point where the Gateway Star is shown, we would see a roundabout at that point to control traffic congestion that occurs on heavy class days at that intersection. But there are also other principal gateways, one coming in from Highway 10 east from I-39, another from Interstate 39 on the north along Division Street. At each of these gateway entries, we would see the campus being announced at those gateways so that people knew and understood that they are now entering UWSP campus. We could do that through the form of banners or other features that would distinguish the campus locations at those locations. At this point, you've met Carl Rasmussen, our facilities planner, and Chancellor Bunnell and I would be happy to answer any questions, and we really thank you for taking the time to hear us out, and we'll be talking to you again about boundary changes in the very near future.
Yes. Just go ahead.
Cost for phase 1.
No, we don't have a cost for phase 1.
We really have to do our program plans first, and then that will determine the actual cost of the facilities.
I made a campus visit at Stevens Point within the last 2 weeks. I can't remember exactly what day, and enjoyed it very much, but was very, very conscious of the needs that have been pointed out today. And I also want to say that for quite a few years, I was a part of a convention that met in Stevens on the campus every year in the middle of the summer, and it isn't there anymore. It was your point about that is well taken.
Regent Loftus.
Could you talk a little bit about 4th Street? Why didn't you just simply build an overpass so students could walk back and forth?
They never do.
We've looked into doing an overpass, and the practicality of it is simply that they're not going to go up to a higher level, go across, and come back down on the other side. It just simply isn't going to happen. They're going to cross that street in the locations that they choose to right now, because there's nothing that separates or divides or causes an obstruction for them to go across any place. And we think by landscaping it in a proper way, we can funnel the traffic, the foot traffic, to certain locations. We can also slow down the automobile traffic that travels through there and cut it down to one lane. Right now it's a 4-lane or 2-lane in each direction kind of a street going through the center campus.
I've built an overpass before in a former campus, Regent Loftus. The cost is enormous, and then it merely becomes a place from which to drop things. So then you have to put such fine wire across it that it begins to look more like a prison than a walkway. So that's also another reason why. But we did consider it, I want you to know.
Regent Brewer.
I was just curious. You mentioned, are those roundabouts? Are those like those things where you go in the car? Just, they have a lot of those in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It is amazing. I'm still here having drank those. Have you, I mean, all 4 of those would be roundabouts?
No, just
the one that comes in.
The one location right there. There's really a three-way stop right now, and there's heavy traffic there. Over on this side of the campus is the Ministry Hospital, which serves a large area of St. Michael's, and there's also a lot of traffic that comes into the hospital along with the university traffic.
The roundabout would actually improve the situation rather than make it more difficult. We've got a 3-way stop there. It's pretty hard to figure out which way to go and which way to turn, and we have had some accidents there.
It's okay, because Regent Pruitt thinks the basement is a roundabout. I wouldn't pay attention to what he tells me.
Don't pay attention.
Who cares what Cambridge does? I have a question. Would you just mark the union for me? Okay.
Right in this assembly right here.
Now, that's one of the major projects that you expect to be completed this year, right? I mean, second year. Would you also point out the Fine Arts building? Because that's where we hosted the last Board of Regents meeting that was held at Stevens Point, and I think that's one of the minor buildings that you have there because it serves the whole community, not only the campus. Wonderful.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful building, and the addition and remodeling of that building took place and was completed about a year ago.
So you have the student union to be completed this next January, and you had the Fine Arts building on this side of the campus. I think that really anchors on those 2 streets that you've designated the development, the additional development in the area. That's why
It's really the academic core that we need to develop next, and desperately, in particular, our science laboratories.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, I want to say that in 1894, I don't believe anyone dreamed what UWSP would become to Wisconsin or to central Wisconsin or to the nation. So I invite you not to forget to dream what UWSP might become with a really solid, well-planned physical anchor on the Stevens Point campus. But we are here to serve all of central Wisconsin. We're here to serve the state, and we're here to serve our nation. So I thank you for your interest and for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you about this time next year on the Stevens Point campus. Thank you.
Thank you. The Fiscal and Planning Committee will now go into recess, and hopefully we'll continue to meet in this wonderful facilities. Is there any other standing committee that is going to be occupying?
No.